Astral projection. I've always been curious about astral projection ever since I first learned about it as a young girl. Back then, I thought it was flying in your sleep, which was pretty cool. As I got older, I realized it was so much more complex. Now that I'm in my late 20s, I've delved into some astral projection myself. I read a lot of books and did a lot of online research. Recently, I've gotten into meditation, and I really do enjoy the sense of calm control it gives me. Last night, I decided to put on some frequencies in my headphones. Rose Gold Beats wireless headphones. They're so comfortable, I actually fell asleep wearing them. I was very aware that I was asleep last night, and for me, I'm usually not aware of anything. Usually when I dream, I don't realize I'm dreaming either. Well, once I was asleep, I decided to travel. I lifted out of my physical being, turned around, not knowing what to expect, even though I absolutely knew what I wanted to see was my sleeping self in bed. Shock. I'm in something like shock now. Yes, it's me. I recognize myself. Chestnut brown hair and my sleepy closed eyes already getting crusty in the corners. I watch the blanket rise and fall at a slow, steady pace. Whoa, that's me, and I'm sleeping. I couldn't believe what I was seeing. I felt like it was an eternity of just trying to wrap my head around that what my eyes saw was really what they saw. Since I seemed safe, secure, and comfortable, I decided to turn around facing the door of my bedroom and see if I could fly away. I saw the door coming closer and realized I'm actually moving. It was just second nature. I didn't really have to think much about it, and I was going where I wanted to. I decided to leave the house, and poof, I was outside. I don't remember going through the kitchen or the living room, but I feel like I must have. I am uncertain. I can see the leaves on the trees blowing around in the wind. However, I don't feel the sensation of the wind. Yeah, I definitely remember this is a sensation that was missing, and that felt so strange and different. I can't seem to help but think about it ever since it happened last night. It's like I'm trying to really understand what happened. Did I dream that? I was astral projecting. Did it really happen? It wasn't that easy remembering everything. I keep trying to recall all the events in the order they happened and how I saw them, how it felt physically and emotionally. It's just so much to take in, but I'm going to try to recall it all now. I felt comfortable and well learned in astral projection. Tired at the end of the day like any other day. My headphones hugging my ears, the sound of tribal drums and throat singing filled my head as I easily fell into my slumber. Fraction of a moment later, I see my room, my door, my walls, myself. I felt the freedom to go where I wanted when I wanted easily, without effort. Time didn't seem real when I was out of my body. I knew that I was safe, and I knew that I was asleep, but time, well, it could have been 5 seconds or 5 days. I feel a sense of being lost, although I know exactly where I was. And I knew I had the freedom to do any traveling I wanted. I could see everything, but I couldn't really feel anything physically. All my emotions were intact and my thoughts sharp, but no physical sensation. I thought of where I wanted to go, and instantly, I was in the UK. I saw some people walking and sailing at some place called Dovestone Reservoir. They were rock climbing at Crompton Moor and canoeing at Castleshaw. Oh, how I wanted to speak and touch and taste. It was strange that I did get a sense of smell, though. I could smell the rain in the air. I could smell how clean the air was. It was such a different sense of smelling the air, but it was undeniable. I looked down and I saw my reflection in the puddles on the cobblestone. It wasn't really much of a shape, I suppose, more of a blob or a shadow. Either way, it seemed shapeless. I wasn't going to worry about that, and I continued traveling along. I thought of all sorts of things, and the moment I had the thought, I found myself there. I thought of Washington, boom, I was there. I thought of LA, and there I was, watching some raccoon jerky getting made. I thought about Texas, and there I was, looking at windmills and solar panels everywhere. I decided to just go up, higher and higher and higher. I looked down. It was like the view from a hot air balloon. I could see everything just at a distance. Then I went higher and higher until I could no longer make out the buildings, but I could see patches of green land, brown land, blue water, higher and higher and higher. Now I could see the clouds below me. It was so amazing to see. I see the atmosphere. I see the land, the oceans. It was breathtaking. I thought about how I had saw myself in bed sleeping, and instantly I was staring at my body in my bedroom. I found myself very easily just with a quick thought. So being as happy as I was with my travels and knowing that I was asleep and able to safely leave my body, I decided that it was enough fun, and I went ahead and visualized myself inside of my body. I saw the shadow go down into my skin, and I became one with myself again. I woke up, and I knew something had happened. I was trying so hard to remember, and then it started coming to me. I wondered, was it all a dream? It's still boggling my mind the next day because it seems so unreal. But it happened. It was real. I did it. I finally did it. After so much research and practice, the years of time I've devoted to trying to astral project, of course, it just happened out of the blue on a night like any other normal night. I'm finally coming to terms with the fact that it did really happen. Okay, I've got a plan. Tonight, when I go to sleep, I'm going to focus on something different. I'm going to try to astral project again, but this time, not to just different places, but to different times. I want to see if I can time travel. If I can control where I am in my astral body, maybe I can control when I am as well. So we'll see what happens. After a long day, I want to turn on my virtual reality Oculus headset. Yes, here it is, that app I like, Trip. I pick a meditation and I relax as I watch the shapes and colors moving around, directing my deep breathing. Well, I'm pretty tired and nice and relaxed after all the meditation. I'm gonna hop into bed nice and comfy. Soon I fall asleep and I focus on my astral projection again through time. It seemed like the blink of an eye, and I was staring at my door again. Turned around, saw my body just like before, my messy brown hair on my face, sleepy eyes closed and breathing slow, rhythmic breaths. I knew where I was. I was much more comfortable this time. I had total control. Now to think about time. I decided to go 5 years ahead. Boom. I was somewhere. I saw a street. I saw some trees, grass, a few houses. There's a traffic light. Stop sign? I'm not quite familiar with where I am, but it seems to be outside somewhere. So I moved along, looking around at my surroundings to see if I could distinguish something that would show a date. Out of all the things I could see, I did find a store. And I thought, let's go check out the newspapers, which are usually located in the front of the stores. The moment I thought of the newspaper, I was in front of the newspapers. I didn't have to go through the door or the window or the building or however I would have gotten in there. I didn't have to go through the process of that travel. I was just there. So I looked down and I looked at the date. It is January 15th, 2026. Whoa. Disbelief washes over me again, although I know it's absolutely real, absolutely true. I had to now see what was different, what was going on 5 years from now. I spotted some people, so I went over near them, and they didn't seem to notice me at all. Chuckled to myself and decided, let's have a listen to what the people were saying. There was a lot of chatter. It seemed pretty normal, not too much different, although I guess 5 years isn't all that much time. There were 2 men I spotted holding Starbucks cups, talking about how they always knew the earth was flat. Is this serious? Are they for real? Has there been a discovery, or is he being sarcastic? I need to know more, so I kept listening. They talked about the North Pole being a portal, and they were pissed common people couldn't use it. They talked about how unfair it was that now that we can use portals, why not allow all the people to use it? I wondered to myself, what portal and what is it for? What do they do? But I wanted to keep listening more than anything, so I did. The other fellow said, well, it is what we first thought. The world is flat, and we live in a simulated illusion. We know we are experiments. We know we aren't in control. We were right the first time. It's funny how crazy everyone thought it was. They nodded their head at each other, drank their coffee, and continued walking. I decided to move along. Kinda hungry now. I really like cookies, and Girl Scout cookies are right in front of me. I wish I could order some cookies, but nobody can hear me or see me. So I guess I'll have a look. A new Girl Scout cookie? No way! It's not often the Girl Scouts come with a new cookie, and this cookie looks to be shaped like a 4-leaf clover. But I can't see enough detail to see the words. I'll have to try that sometime, but I'm 5 years in the future. Instantly, I thought about time and brought myself back to the current time, which is January 2021. I see myself sleeping, and I know I brought myself back home, but this time I wanted to keep going. I thought about the past. I want to go way back to the beginning. I didn't think of a specific date, but I did know I wanted the beginning. There I was, in the beginning. Now I had no idea what to expect, but boy, I sure didn't expect this. Multiple colored beings everywhere. They were red and brown and gray, blue, and then there was this color like I'd never seen before in my life. It was kind of neon, kind of gold, but also kind of red. It was too hard to describe this color, but I've never seen anything like it. These alien beings all seem to be about the same height, which, if I had to guess, was maybe around 7.5 to 8 feet tall. They were pretty skinny and lanky. They had these long abdomens. They were really thick, wrinkly necks. And they had eyes that reminded me of a fly. My mind raced. What is this? Holy cow! Are these aliens? I'm looking at alien beings. The first thing in our creation were aliens? Oh, I've heard some conspiracies that we did originate from aliens, but never in a million years would I have believed it. I've seen many dictations of alien beings, but none like this. When I've heard about aliens, I've heard about the Greys, I've heard about a lot of different kind of aliens, but never any that looked like this. Then I have this quick thought in my mind of Egypt. Suddenly, I'm in Egypt. I don't know what time we're in because I just thought of Egypt, but I didn't mean to come here. I see an alien type being, also very tall. The eyes are different, and the chin is much more pointed than I remember on the previous beings. These beings all have human beings as slaves, and these slaves are working hard in the sun to build the pyramids. I see the alien beings helping the humans move these huge structures by directing water around these blocks that the humans were moving. Telekinesis. The aliens are using their minds. I see in the distance huge rays of energy. Massive. And I can't tell if it was taking in the energy of the sun or something, or if it was shooting energy out of it. I see what they're doing now. It's all natural energy. We had the answer from the beginning this whole time. So unbelievable. I just thought of myself in bed again. The fact that I was astral projecting, and there I was back at home again, looking at myself in bed. It was all so much, going forward, backward, and everything. So I decided to lay down and be back inside my body. I woke up to pee. I glanced at the clock on my way back to bed. It was 1:47 a.m. Looks like I'd only been asleep for about half an hour. I'm so half asleep, I crawl my groggy head back into bed and begin new astral projection journeys. I've got to learn how to control my thoughts because now I've thought of the beyond, the afterlife. What happens after? Where do we go? Suddenly, I was in what seemed like space. It wasn't space. Blackness all around me. Can't see anything. I floated all around, full speed, up, all black. Full speed, right, all black. I covered all the directions, nothing to see. I didn't want to be thinking about these places, so I thought of the future. 2040 is where I landed because I was again looking at newspapers to see the date. I've at least trained myself to find new dates this way when I travel. Whoa, 2040. I can't wait to see what the world is like. I looked up to gaze at the sky. First out of instinct, because I found myself outside somewhere. When I looked up, I was mesmerized by all the flying vehicles. Guess Apple and Tesla got together and made out like bandits because every vehicle I saw had an Apple Tesla emblem on them. I couldn't have predicted that. There's more traffic above my head than I ever was in driving on the road. Wonder how they aren't just flying into each other. It's super quiet though. I don't hear any engines running or see any smoke, even though there's so many vehicles moving around above me. I looked around me at ground level. Well, smartphones are still a thing because I see everyone with their nose in their phones. Can't make out any brands. Everyone has cases on, but wait, that guy has no case. I'll get closer and see what I can see. I floated over and I saw the same T looking symbol with that bitten apple sitting atop of it. So, Apple and Tesla must have not only gotten together for the flying vehicles, but also for cell phones. I'm not familiar with much of anything around me. This feels so weird to be in 2040. I wonder who the president is. Instantly, I found myself back in front of the newspapers. Front page reads, Barron Trump announces plan to run for the next president of the United States of America. Whoa. Isn't that Donald Trump's youngest son, who's only 14 years old in my current time, 2021? My astral body must be used to my late night snacking because I was thinking about food and poof, I was in the grocery store. Okay, this finally looked familiar. I looked around produce. Seems pretty much the same to me. Meat section. I thought about the meat section, but I didn't poof over there. How strange. I wonder why the thinking of something and ending up there in a flash doesn't always work. So I decided to float around the aisles. Turns out there was no meat products. Lots of plant-based stuff. What the fuck is corn-flavored wheat nugget? Some things tried to be like traditional meat products I knew, but some things I don't even know what they were. Now, if there's no meat in less than 20 years into the future, I wonder what the year 2081 would be like. In what seemed like a microsecond, I knew I was somewhere new. I knew I was safe, but I felt really uneasy. If I was in my physical body, I would have hurled already. The sensations I feel are so real and clear. It's like I'm physically feeling them, but I'm not. I have no physical body. I tried to grasp the newness and understand it as I experienced it, but my mind wandered quickly. Where am I? When am I? I didn't find any newspapers to check the date on this time. I know I had thought of 2081, so I guess I'll assume that's when I am. I can tell I'm outside somewhere, but literally nothing seems familiar. I look up. That's when I realized this isn't Earth. I felt petrified. For what seemed like an eternity. My thoughts were so fast, so big, so unbelievable. I couldn't process it all at once. I was spinning out, but I didn't want to leave. I needed to see more, to know more. I looked back down to discover I was up in the air. I hadn't realized I floated up here. What I saw below was red and burnt orange colored leaves. I'm looking at treetops. I see no green, none at all. How is this possible? Instantly, I'm at ground level. I see red soil. It's dry, crumbly. But it's not sand. It's not dirt. I see the tree trunks were a burnt sienna colored bark. I'm not familiar with this type of tree. I see some copper hues in the dry bark. Am I in a desert? Poof. Suddenly, I'm at a body of water. I've got to watch how I think. I've got to stop wondering without intent. Well, the water reminded me of a mud puddle color, murky brown sludge-like. I see the land is very much like clay around the water's edge. Iron-rich, yes, I think everything here is quite oxidized. The water, the land, the trees. No way! Am I on Mars? The red planet? I suppose by now the planet could have flourished and thrived. I never pictured Mars as anything but a red ball in space, barren and lifeless. Okay, my mind is racing, remembering how in 2021, my normal time, there are expeditions to see if life can be found on Mars and people planning to colonize Mars, but these were just ideas, far-fetched even. It looks like they did it. Where are all the people around here? I've seen trees, land, bodies of water, but not a soul in sight. Poof, I found the people. They were all the same reddish brown colored skin. It was daytime and it was bright outside, but I found everyone sleeping. They seem to sleep in pods, for the lack of better terms, to describe this cylinder of glass and steel, maybe. I see blue light glowing, bars inside, a pillow, small, firm. I am now looking at the reddish-brown bodies. I got closer as I knew they couldn't see me or harm me. I understand now that what they're sleeping in is an oxygen bed, or whatever other atmosphere is here. In my astral body, I've no need to breathe, so I cannot distinguish the air myself. My thoughts were to assume we're not human anymore. Not fully, anyways. Looks like we had to adapt to a new planet. Maybe we still need therapeutic treatments to maintain health here. I wanted to see more. Poof. A different family of people, sleeping in the day in their pods. Poof. Again, the same. Poof. More of the same. It seems everyone does this, so maybe it's sort of like we all go to bed at night on Earth. Why the day? Why the tank beds? I was suddenly outside, looking at the structures around me. The buildings were wildly different than any architecture I've ever seen. Curvy and triangular seems to be the gist of it. Sharp points and holes and circles. It must have made sense here. Maybe to the weather? The buildings were reflective, like towers of mirrors. What happens when they wake? Poof. Nighttime. Boy, I really have a knack of traveling through time instantly now. I see so many light blue lights, almost neon but softer. All lights are in bar shapes, like a ruler. There are tubes of clear glass. I didn't even notice them in the day. It was so bright, especially around those reflective buildings. Las Vegas came to mind. The darkness, the neon lights, fascinating sights. The people seem not to be partying, but going about routine life. The tubes, oh, I see now. They act as transmission vessels. One enters, seemingly walks right into it, like a hologram, and then I see a reddish-brown blur to a different area. It's how they travel. Incredible sights. I am completely overwhelmed, but I cannot get enough. It's hard to take it all in at once. It's all so different. Okay, let's get a close look at these people. Well, yes, I determined the human race is no more. Whatever we are now, it's not human at all. Their skin looked thick, crusty. It did seem like a dry environment for the most part. I guess that's just how you would be here. Their eyes were, I want to say, 3 times the size of our human eyes. The shape the same, but so much bigger. It looks like there's a new part of their body they've evolved into, or maybe genetically engineered to be this. There's a new never seen thing, like, was it a lens? It looks like their eyeball has a coating on them. Maybe a film or a lens. What is its purpose? I wonder if their insides look any different. No, I thought quickly enough not to see that. I thought about their heads. Nobody had hair here. No head hair or facial hair like eyebrows or lashes. Their heads were larger and slightly more bulbous than a typical human. I have a gut feeling we're all alien-human hybrid now. A new race on a new planet, starting over. Oh, don't think about other planets. Don't think about other life forms in the universe. I bombarded myself with mental thought shields because my mind is just racing and I don't want to poof someplace I don't want to be. I must take in more of this while I can. What can I tell by looking at these humans? Alien plus human. I need to pay more attention. I need to remember this. Whoa, I know what I don't see. Genders. There's absolutely no distinguishable difference in any of them. Suddenly, I saw face after face, body after body, flash, 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 in a fraction of a second. I knew I was correct. This is a genderless or unigender species. How do they breed? No. Think of things I can handle. Okay. Food. I love food. Let's see what these alien humans eat. I see myself in what could be a store, I suppose. It's long walls with panels of lights and buttons, like options on a vending machine, kind of. I don't see cans and bags and bars, though. Gotta get closer. Poof. I'm looking at the options. They're all capsules. Vitamin, nutrient-dense food capsules. I've got some serious The Jetsons vibes out of seeing this. I don't see any fluids at all here. Mainly it's like scientific names I don't quite understand for options, sort of like reading the back of a multivitamin container. I see how they sustain themselves now, very effectively and efficient. How do they stay hydrated in this dry place? Poof, I'm looking at their pods again. This time, an empty one. They're all up, it's night. I see how they stay hydrated now. How incredible. Very plant-like, I have to say. I see that murky, rusty, muddy water in a container at the bottom of the sleep vessel. I know they stood inside there. Maybe a gravity-adjusted environment. Well, they stand and their feet go into that container. So all day, they must absorb the water through their feet and have no need for liquids all night when they're active. Their thick, rough, reddish-brown skin must filter out the muck. Fascinating. These spaces for the feet caught my eye. I noticed it's a 4-toed space. Very similar foot shape, but larger and more rounded. Larger toes and sort of blueberry shaped at the ends. I realized something just then, the silence of it all. I didn't even notice what language they spoke, because they didn't speak, but they communicated for sure. Telepathy! I think I've seen all I can handle in 2081 now. My thoughts and emotions were quick and hot like fire. I've reached my limit. Before I could finish the thought of the word home, I was back at my body, reabsorbing my astral body. These are all such drastic differences from the time I'm from. I'm fascinated to see the new and different things, but now I'm kind of uncomfortable and feeling overwhelmed. Oh, how good my own time would feel right now in my warm bed. Poof, there I was, sleeping. I watched the peaceful rise and fall of my abdomen under my blanket, and I saw my astral body merge back into my physical being. I woke up startled and excited at the same time. I remembered everything vividly. Every detail I could recall with precision. I've got to write all this down before I forget. Okay, grabbed my journal, my favorite pen, and went to town. I filled the whole journal, front and back, with my memory of the astral adventures I had. I'm really happy and proud of myself for accomplishing my ability to astral project. However, I realize how serious this is. Am I supposed to retain this information? What if I learn things that I shouldn't and it gets into the wrong hands? Can I change the course of time by doing this? Am I affecting the future or even the past? I vouched to myself never to astral project again after my naive adventures. I had fun, but I don't ever want to risk harming myself or anyone else. What a mind-boggling experience. Only my journal and I will ever know what's happened.